Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly Macklemore.
All right, good evening and welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring entrepreneurs and women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly Macklemore, and welcome to another night of sharing. With us, we have Shelley Meche'tte and Bree Jones, certified life purpose coach, personal development expert, speaker, and women's change agent. Shelley Meche'tte is extremely passionate and dedicated to the empowerment of women through strategized personal and professional development. She is the author of PowHER Minds, Reflected Thoughts Designed for the Everyday PowHER Woman, and her Legacies, 70 Days of Happy. Life is Better When You Smile, and the founder of the women's organization, the Powerhouse Woman. Bree Jones is a deaf culture merger and Biola University psychology graduate. Known as your favorite Hollywood mother-daughter duo, Shelley Meche'tte and Bree Jones are in an entertainment powerhouse on the move to creating their own success and refusing to take no for an answer. Not only has the certified life purpose coach and deaf culture merger combined their talents to produce the incredible web series I Hear You on YouTube, but they are also on their way to becoming the most recognized mother-daughter host on the red carpet. So without further ado, please help me welcome to my platform, Shelley Meche'tte and Bree Jones. Good evening, ladies. How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to have you ladies on this evening. I'm telling you, I've been looking forward to this night. So I just can't wait to hear all about you two and what you've been up to. And I'm sure the listeners are sitting back saying the same thing, like, okay, she's got two guests on in one night, so this is a good show.
Well, we are definitely excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It is definitely my pleasure. So before we get jumping into all the other great questions, why don't you two ladies just take a few minutes and tell the listeners a little bit more about who Shelley Meche'tte is and who Bree Jones is?
You want to start, Bree Jones? It's so much to you, you know. You're multifaceted girlfriend.
You don't want to go first this time?
No, I'm going to let you lay it out.
You don't want to use your hierarchy card?
Well, my hierarchy says you can go. This is what I deal with, audience. I try to give her the platform first, and then here she comes. You know, I should snatch it away. Go on and tell the people about yourself.
Oh, my goodness. Bree, don't let your mama do you like that, okay? Don't let her do you like that.
Look, I still live at home, so I don't have a choice. When I have my own house and she acts like that at my house, I'm going to remind her, believe me.
I'm going to pull the hierarchy.
I don't care about your hierarchy at my house.
This be a single interview. Go.
You see, y'all hear this, right? So anyway, as stated, I am a deaf culture merger, which just means that I spend a lot of time in the hearing community trying to educate hearing people about deaf culture, American Sign Language, in hopes of providing more deaf people with equal access to communication and just life around them. There's a lot of things that we don't think about, especially even now in this pandemic, for example, with, wear your mask, but we don't think about the deaf community and how they rely on mouthing and facial structures and the morphemes of mouth sounds, and how this is actually a very complicated time for this community. And overall, is the world really thinking about this community so that these millions of people can have access to what's going on? Yes, it's great that there's a lot of American Sign Language interpreters on the news. This is like the most I have ever seen access in that way. And it's a great first step. I'm not taking that away. It's a huge, huge first step, but that's only just a little bit of the battle. Now we got to talk about outside of TV, like when they actually go to the bank or when they have to go to the store and have to interact with people with these masks on, and how complicated and challenging that must be during this time. Right. So that's pretty much what I do, and I'm also very passionate about entertainment. I love entertainment, and with the love I have for promoting awareness of the deaf community, I've combined it a couple of years ago and hoping to be an asset. Not an asset, but I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, daughter. Help me. Help me help you.
I don't know. I forgot. But basically, when being that ally.
I was going to say maybe ally.
Yeah, being that ally so that more deaf talent has opportunity to be able to showcase their talents through media, whether it be being an actor, a director, or a writer, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that pretty much sums me up.
Yeah, I think that was a good sum up.
Thanks, Mom.
And it is. It's a great summary. And, and I want to dive into more questions about what it is you do and how important this piece is about, the deaf culture portion of it. But I also want to learn a little bit more about you, Bree, is just who you are as a young lady. Obviously you're with your mom a lot, but tell the listeners about Bree. What else does Bree enjoy doing beyond doing what you're doing is, with the work and then, of course, having the series and so forth? Just tell us a little bit more about the inner part of who Bree is.
That's so hard for me to think about because my life is what I do. And those are the things that, I really enjoy that, to take that away from me, I might as well just die.
Don't do that.
Because I don't have nothing else.
No. You can't be.
But that is my purpose.
Okay, but I need you to stay
both
with
of
me.
those are my purpose. That's what I'm saying. If I don't have it, it's just I don't have nothing to do. So there's no point in me taking up space.
No, of course there's a point. But you like to do other things outside
I
of that.
was getting to that.
You know what? Your turn's over.
No, it's not.
Your turn's over. No. I don't know how to act.
I'm tired. Mom, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I love it.
On a simple scale, as I was getting ready to say, stop interrupting me.
Go.
On a simple scale, things that I enjoy doing are going to the movies, which is not a thing right now. I actually really love to travel. I was planning on traveling out of the country for the first time next year. We'll see if that happens. What else do I like to do? I like to bother my sister. That brings me so much joy. I love my sister so much. But, I'm that typical older, and I probably should be more mature since, I have 7.5 years on her. But I'm that sibling that, there's this meme that I've seen on Instagram that, it says, when your siblings are minding your own business and you're looking at them in your inner head, it's just slap them upside the head, and that's me. It's just she could be, just eating her noodles, minding her own business, being quiet, and I gotta go and, just push her just for no reason, just to get a reaction out of her. It's so great to me. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, and when did you say you was moving? Wait a minute now.
Interactions of the home.
I know I'm gonna miss her when she leaves, but I enjoy spending time with my family. I like, I love roller coasters. I love roller coasters. They're so great. I like simple stuff pretty much.
Yeah, I can't do much of the roller coaster thing this year either. I know that they said down in Orlando at Disney World, they're telling, you can get on the roller coasters, but you can't scream. Not sure how that's going to work.
You can't.
How do you not scream on the roller coaster? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I thought that was quite
I never
interesting.
scream anyway, but...
That makes no sense. I need to be able to say, I
can do it because I never scream anyway.
Yeah, that's not the story of my life.
I have so much fun. I be cheesing. I just be smiling from ear to ear. I laugh at everybody else screaming. I keep my eyes open the entire time.
No,
I'm a sociopath when it comes to roller coasters.
Stop it. Weirdo.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that was perfect. So now let's let your mom jump right on it. Come on, Shelley. Let's give it to us.
I don't know if I can follow that. My goodness, the roller coaster queen over here. Yeah. I am Shelley. I'm Shelley Meche'tte, and yes, I am a certified life purpose coach. And I completely believe that when you find purpose, you find life. I'm passionate about women understanding who they are outside of their titles. And so I get giddy just being able to connect with women. I am a speaker. I am an author. And I love, as my child, minus the roller coasters, I like the simple things in life. But I tell you what I really enjoy. I enjoy I Love Lucy. I want to just sit down and turn on I Love Lucy, Mm-hmm. I want to talk when they talk. I want to go through all of the lines with them. I want to laugh at stuff that I already laughed at 1,500 times and drink a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, you love Dr. Pepper. You love that Dr. Pepper.
I said you can't get it simpler than that, right? I mean, hey, the little things in life that we enjoy and need, right? This is the really key word here. We really need those simplicities. So, yeah, right. Well, you two have definitely enlightened me here in the last few minutes just listening to what I've heard. But the things that stood out with me, Bree, that I like that you were talking about is how the deaf community is still not really being heard in the way that they need to be heard. It's very hard for us to talk with the mask on as normal people who can talk and to hear every day. I can't even fathom what they're going through in that community of not being able to communicate properly. And then, people are still looking at them like, well, why are you not speaking? Can you not understand what I'm saying? Because now we have the constant shields in front of us everywhere we go. Whether you're at the store, if you're in your own environment, no matter where you're at, you're dealing with something. So what advice and what things are you continuing to do to help your community out?
I just get on my social media and I just post like different tips for people like, oh, hey, if you come across a deaf person, they're literate, you can write it down. It's okay. It's there's this idea that like, oh, if somebody's deaf, then none of their senses work. Or, that they have no capability of being able to interact just because they cannot hear you. I don't know really where the notion came from, but they can read, they can write.
Right.
Write a note back, write it back and forth, you can point, they understand gestures, just take out that time to communicate with them. As people in general, we're so fast paced. We don't take out the time to hear people that are around us. It doesn't matter, deaf or hearing. So just imagine just really like being conscious of not being so fast paced because of the possibility of coming in contact with somebody who may not be able to hear, who may not be able to walk themselves, or whatever the case may be. But just being patient with that person, being attentive to that person in those couple of seconds to be able to be of assistance, whatever that assistance may be. Which is, what aisle is the bread on? Or, just simple. It doesn't always have to be something so big, like, oh my gosh, I know all my states in sign language. Nobody's asking for all of that. Like,
exactly. Right. Because the average person's not going to know that. Yeah. But something so simple, like you said, having some patience. And we live in a world that's not patient. And even after everything we've gone through the last 4 months with the pandemic, you still see people who have no patience. It just amazes me, you walk in the store and
when people are walking around with a mask.
Right. So true. It's so true.
Yeah. It's, the simplest things that can save you from having to be sick or make somebody else sick. People still do not have the patience to even put the mask on. To ride it out and do what they're supposed to do. So I can't, like I said, I can't even fathom what an individual, has to deal with when they can't hear, or or if they have the capability, incapability of not even be able to speak, for whatever reason that we're going through. Like I said, it's hard enough as it is for us to be able to speak with the mask on, but because you feel like you're muffled all the time. So having to deal with that simple 2 seconds of being patient is you're right. We don't live in a world who is very kind. And we still see a lot of that today, even though of all the things that have come in front of us in the last several months and have been around for many years, but it's more prevalent today because we're paying attention, because we've had no choice but to sit still and pay attention. So,
true.
I applaud you for doing the things that you're doing in that community. Let me ask you, Bree, what inspired you? What made you decide to really get involved in this type of work?
Well, I was exposed to the language as early as 3, but I didn't become active and really learning about the culture and learning about the language until my junior year of college. Being in college is when I was able to really in depth see the gap between the deaf and the hearing. And at that time, I didn't necessarily want to be an interpreter. But as time went on and as I've gained friends who or in situations where they asked me, could I interpret for them, I ended up enjoying interpreting. And so that's another umbrella, not an umbrella, but another ball that I'm juggling. I'm actually training right now in the process of trying to become a nationally certified interpreter.
Wow.
So that's a whole
Another whole story. Another whole show. Another whole show. We'll jump on that one later.
That's a new shindig.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But just from the opportunity of being in a class and learning about that world and being so fascinated with the fact that I can communicate with people through my body movement, through my facial expressions, through my hands, and be able to form complete thoughts and sentences. I was just so amazed at that. And there's no logical explanation as to why I became so attached to it, but it's always been in my life in one way or another since I was 3.
Wow. Well, it's not our design. It's God's design for you. So you keep doing it.
All the time.
All the time.
All the
So
time.
we just have to remind ourselves of that sometimes when we start to see ourselves do things that we're not used to or don't expect. And like you said, at 3,
Right.
how would you know at 3 years old that this is what you really wanted to do or even thought about doing? But then when we push away from things that we don't think are right for us, it comes right back to us consistently. So I'm glad that you jumped on board and kept that interest in what you're doing, because it is absolutely needed. And, I can say I have not met too many people or any people I can think of who really do deal with the deaf community and really, have something important for them, and knowing that somebody just actually cares and wants to be a part of their lives and wants to continue to help in the way that you're doing. So keep up the good work on that aspect. So now I'm going to jump over to Miss Shelley, because I want to hear about your empowerment.
Yes, now it's my turn to interrupt you.
Oh, but I'm going to ignore you. So go ahead, Miss Kimberly. I know how to ignore.
So I'm just excited. I'm excited to hear what you have more to say, because Shelley, just listening to you talk, you got me all jiggly over here. Okay. So I'm just like, woo. So I want to hear more about what got you into this. I mean, we talk a lot about as women, we're constantly overexerting ourselves, trying to do everything. But what is it that you really help out, and what are you coaching to get women to understand more about who they are and how they're designed to use their power?
Yes, well, first of all, again, it's something that I'm excited about, because as a woman, I've gone through the same trials and tribulations that many other women have gone through. I've gone through being in a relationship that may not have been the best for me. I've gone through finding my value in what someone else is saying about me. I've gone through some of these same things. I've gone through losing myself in titles, where I had to come back and say, okay, you're so-and-so's wife, you're so-and-so's mother, you're this employee, but who are you? What do you enjoy doing? How do you live outside of these titles? I've been a single mom, so I understand the frustrations. And so these are things that I understand being a woman that we go through. We put so many things on the back burner, and before long, we have completely combusted. We have shut down, we have broken, we have fallen, and then we blame our not being able to juggle everything. So then we turn it right back around on ourselves again and blame ourselves for not being able to handle everything that we shouldn't have had to in the first place.
Right. I agree with that one. Ooh, that's another book for me. So anyway, I get it. Yeah, I absolutely agree. So let me ask you, Shelley, what was your breaking point when you realized that this is not who you are? Like you said, we live in a world of titles, and especially for women, we have a title for mom, we have a title for being the daughter, we have a title for being, the breadwinner, we have titles for everything. What was your breaking point?
Mine was when I stood in the mirror after leaving my job. I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And when I left that, I looked in the mirror and I really didn't understand who I was outside of that job. I loved my job, but I didn't realize how much I held on to the fact, oh, I work for this entertainment company. Oh, I work with celebrities. Oh, I didn't realize how much I held that until it was removed from me. And then when I was looking at myself naked and in the mirror, And when I took everything away, when I said take away every title, and let me say there's nothing wrong with titles. Life is filled with titles. The problem is when we depend on the title for our confirming. And so when I looked at myself and I couldn't confirm outside of those titles, that's when I began to break it down and say, who are you? What's going on? What's happening with you? I realized at that moment I hadn't even let go of all of the toxicity that I had taken in from a bad relationship. I had just piled things on top thinking that I was all good. But when I had nothing to hold on to, I realized you're not all good.
Right.
And that was the breaking point.
And that makes sense. And a big part of that is because you didn't take care of self, right? And that's usually what we go through as women when we go through certain things in our lives that, you know, if you're not taking care of self, like I said, when you pile on other things in order to feel as if it's making you feel better. And, you know, it's amazing how as human beings, we always have to put ourselves through things that aren't necessary. So when you talk to other women about their empowerment and knowing who they are, what is some of the advice? How is it that you make them understand that they don't have to go through what they're going through every day? What do you say?
We start with you telling me about yourself aside from your titles, which is something that you did on this interview when you asked about Bree. You say, okay, great. Those are wonderful things. Tell me, what does Bree like? That's the first place that I start with women that I sit down with, because most of them, when I sit down and say, how you doing? You know, have a little conversation. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself. We ramble off all of these things that we're proud of, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then once I'm done, I say, well, those are wonderful things and great things. I appreciate all of that. All those things are valuable. But now tell me about you.
Right. Because
and
we live in a world.
Where,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because we live in a world that tells us if we don't have these titles that we're not valuable.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what we do. We live in this world that says that. And so when I ask a woman that question, that's kind of where the tears begin to well up, because that's her first awareness of really going, okay, I know that I do this and that and that and this, but I guess no one has ever asked me, how am I? And that's where we begin to break this down. Just finding out, who are you? Tell me about you. And then we're going to start journaling some things that you enjoy, because first we have to find out, what do you enjoy? Believe it or not, all moms don't like Frosted Flakes. They eat it because the kids left it behind. They don't want it.
Exactly.
They condition themselves to believe they like it because they get tired of the kids wasting the food. So we want to go back and find the simple things that you enjoy. And we want to begin stepping into those things, taking a couple of minutes to understand it's okay to step away. And so when you begin to feel guilty, we go back to it. It's okay to step away. Now, show me one or two things that you had to step away for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. It's a process for many ladies. They can't just get up and go, okay, I'm going to take time for myself. We really have to step into it and learn the value of valuing ourselves.
Amen. Repeat that again. Say that again. I think somebody needs to hear this.
We have to learn the value of valuing ourselves.
Exactly. And I couldn't have said that better. And you're absolutely right. And that is the number one problem we have as women. We don't value ourselves. We value everything else around to make ourselves feel like we're valuable. And that's the difference. Yeah. And I love how you broke that down. And you're absolutely right. You ask somebody what they're doing and it's like, oh yeah, I've got all this. I got this and that going. But I'm like, how are you really doing? And it's funny that you said that, because I had a conversation a few weeks ago, or probably even a month ago, that somebody asked me the same question. It's like, I know what you do, but can you tell me, how are you doing? And I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, what do you mean? And then it took me a second to realize, oh, that's what you're asking, and I finally realize that that individual was asking me about just myself for a change, and not all the things that surround me and what I do and what I've accomplished, or he's like, and so it is important to understand your value and what it is. It's great that you have those accomplishments, but knowing that you just want simplicity, and sometimes being in the positions that we're in and being out there and people see you all the time, they don't really understand how important it is for us to have that little bit of sanity time, and realize that we're just as normal as everybody else, right? So
true. And I encourage women to do that. One of the things that I encourage them to do is to get a journal and to write down some of the things that they enjoyed doing just as a child and how those things made them feel. And if any of those things made you feel relaxed, made you feel loved, made you feel beautiful, we want to start incorporating those things because you find pieces of your beauty in there. Mm-hmm. And so I encourage women to do that. Write those things down and write a sentence that says, I am most happy when. Fill that in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And begin to break down who you are. You will love yourself for those few minutes of really understanding who you are.
Key word, really understanding who you are. And that's
powerful.
That's powerful right there. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have to get naked, just like I did when I stood in that mirror. I had to get naked and say, you're still carrying stuff that somebody did to you 15 years ago. How's that working out for you?
Right. doesn't work out very well. Mm-hmm.
How's that for you? You're still harboring some resentment, and it actually, doubles over in your relationship when your husband says something to you and you snap at him. Mm-hmm. But you're not realizing that this comes from years ago because you shall not control Shelley. But again, there's some things in here that we got to break down. What's going on?
That's good.
You got to get naked.
Right.
Get naked. You're so silly.
Yeah, Bree, I thought the same thing for a second there. I was like, okay, she said naked a few times. I'm like, well, maybe she is right. Maybe we'll just really break it down and get naked and figure it all out.
It's time to get naked.
Yeah, there you go. All right, ladies, I want to talk about your amazing, the mother-daughter duo of Hollywood. You guys, so you're becoming the most recognized. So let's talk about your red carpet events. Let's talk about what you're doing on your show. I Hear You. I'm excited to hear more about this. So whoever wants to go first, tell me about it.
Who want to jump? You want to jump in there?
Nope.
Listen, I'm going to jump in then since you just...
I know, go on.
Well, it's really exciting. Yes, before everything went down, we had an opportunity to come together as mother and daughter and be a duo, a host duo. We had an opportunity to go to several after parties. We had a chance to get on the carpet and cover after parties for the Oscars, several movie premieres. We had a chance to go.
It was the Oscars?
Did I have the wrong one? Am I lying to the people?
Wait,
the after parties that we did? Yeah.
I thought that was something else.
Girl, that's okay. You rest.
Are you sure?
Well, now you got me confused.
Look, it was one of those, y'all.
It was a show. It was an award show. It was. I told you it was the Oscars.
You're right.
Okay. I'm sorry. We just had to figure it out.
We can't be lying on the air.
No, we can't be lying on the air. You're right.
Off the air, but not on the air.
Off the air only.
Right.
Got it. So we've had an opportunity to cover these amazing events. We've had an opportunity to go to several movie screenings and events and chef events and things of that nature where we've had a chance to cover these things. We've had a chance to create a web series, and it's really exciting because the last couple of times that we went to a couple of events, yes, now we have people saying, oh, hey, Shelley, hey, Bree, oh, that's the mother and daughter. Oh, are you the mother and daughter? So that's exciting that people are beginning to just kind of look and see.
And then COVID hit.
Then COVID hit, right, and recognize, the things that we're doing. So that was really exciting. And now we're still working with I Hear You. It's not a whole lot that we can do right now with everything being the way it is, but hopefully once everything is up and running again, you are going to see this show on one of these networks.
I pray so.
All right.
But, we've been writing other projects, and we've been doing, virtual networking.
Right. Yes, we do have a couple more projects.
Yeah. We have like 3 now.
I think 3
right?
that are in the, in the arsenal.
3, yeah. So that's the good thing about COVID. I guess if there's a good thing that we've been able to
do a little bit because our schedule has really slowed down. We were like really, really busy.
Right.
And so now with this,
and
it's like we have time.
Writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've been able to practice my interpreting and so.
Yeah. So there's been things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's been some things we can extract from it. You can extract some good from a really stressful situation, and that's one of them that we've been able to do more writing, you know, do a few more creative things, connect with more people.
Right. Yeah, it gives you an opportunity to revamp and rethink how things are being done.
Right.
And that's a good thing. And even though, you know, like I said, a lot of people are stressed out and they're like, oh, you know, we just want to move and keep moving. We all go through that process because we're so used to just being able to get up and go. But I always tell people this is a great opportunity to reevaluate. What are you doing? What have you been doing and how could you do it differently? How could you do it better? Because now we don't have as many choices to go out and just do the things we're used to doing. So taking your business and, you know, making it more virtual and, you know, like I said, making more connections and reaching out to people you probably haven't talked to in years. And now all of a sudden you have this new opportunity, you know, to make that series and your businesses continue to grow. So, you know, as much as we are not happy about it, there's still some good things coming on. And it's actually amazing. I've actually been much busier than I was busy, but I'm actually busier now because people are paying more attention.
I am not surprised, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised that you say that. And I just really think that, again, some of the creative juices that you know that you already have, it just seems like they really begin to really jump, you know, when this happened, because you had to quickly figure out new ways to do things.
That's right.
And so that creativity, you know, it just kind of intensified.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And there's a lot of people who've, you know, started new businesses. I mean, so there's so many different things, you know, if you can start a business, you can write a book, you know, like I said, you can go back to school. There's so many different things and opportunities. And the thing I think that amazes me too about what's going on in our economy is, you know, how the prices have dropped dramatically for the same thing that you had 6 months ago, you were paying double for, you know, and it's just it's amazing how when you have no choice and you have to be more appreciative of what people have and what they do for you within our communities and without our communities, I think it's important that people are starting to pay more attention to that. So, you know, you guys
definitely
obviously have got that special secret sauce between the two of you, and it's obviously working well. And, you know, listening to you guys, I just can't stop laughing. I'm sitting over here like, OMG, how do y'all deal with each other all day long?
This is every day. This is every day. This is not even just, it's not even half of it. But this is our everyday life, like for real.
Yeah, I can imagine. What you guys need to have is a live camera running around just so we can watch you all day long. I'm sure it'd be quite entertaining. Okay.
You be bothering me.
Now, how am I bothering you? You've already said you're the bother person.
I bother my sister.
You bother me too.
No, you be bothering me. Lies. I just be like, dang.
Lies from the pit.
Okay.
Remember, we live, so y'all got to tell the truth. Remember that, right?
Right.
That's right.
Right, exactly.
And the truth is, she bothers me.
Okay.
All right, Liz, I have a couple more questions for you before we actually end the show. But my biggest question I always ask everybody who comes on the show is, tell the listeners, if someone was to walk up to you, both of you, and say, hey, I want to get into business, what advice would you give them?
Oh, I know my advice, and I don't know, Bree, you may say the same thing too. I'm not sure, but for real, make a plan. Like really make a plan. When Bree and I started this web series, we were so excited about starting this web series. We literally started it the next day after the idea was dropped. We had no planning. We didn't lay out anything. We knew nothing about a budget. We jumped in here like, I don't know, some kangaroos that had been let loose. I don't know. And we got in here and was like, let's get us a crew. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Bree put it up, and yes, Bree put it up, I think, on Instagram, right?
Money.
No, we don't have no money. We just like, yeah, let's do it. Don't do that, y'all. Save yourself.
For real.
The mental stress, the tears. Save your edges, please.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Create a plan and connect with someone who knows more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
We were too novice, thinking that we were getting ready to get in here and,
and just do the thing.
Right.
Wrong.
Right. A real awakening came, huh?
Wow. What's better than an awakening? I don't even know. I don't know, because it was so serious. When we look back on it, we were like, I don't even know how we even did the episodes. We have 5 episodes that are currently streaming on YouTube, and I just don't know how we did it. But when we got the revelation, we were like, this won't happen again.
Right.
So don't do that, you guys. Don't. Connect with someone who knows more than you, who's more experienced than you, who can help you lay out an accurate, reliable, plan that you really can stick to, so that when you're off or when you're thinking that it's not working or when you're ready to give up, you can go back and utilize the plan. Maybe you missed something. Maybe you need to tweak the plan. But if you never had one, it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah, you're right. But that's usually the number one mistake that most people make coming into business. They don't want to do a plan. And then they don't understand why, a lot of times people don't become successful. Now, you ladies have obviously been successful and you're continuing to grow, but it amazes me how many people I have dealt with in the small business consulting world that, doing a plan is like telling them that, I just told them that they was going to go to hell or something. I mean, it just amazes me. I'm like, look, you got to do a plan. You would be surprised what you learn more. And I think what comes out of it is that you actually learn more about who you are and what your capabilities are as a part of the business, because it's one thing to have your specialty and what you do, but there's all these other pieces that come with it. And it's okay to say, I don't know how to do this. So who are we going to get to make it work? And that's where most people don't understand why the plan is so important.
And this is why you also have to have a budget. Again, don't do what we did. I don't know how many different ways to tell people, don't do it. You have to know, and it has to be down to the T. Ooh. How much are the lollipops?
Oh, my goodness.
How many lollipops are you getting? Mm-hmm. How much, are you going to have investors? Are you going to do sponsorships? You need to know down to the penny what's happening.
Right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, I always tell
something
people
that we did not.
Well, but it was a great lesson learned. But, the big thing I always tell people, if you can't even understand your own personal budget and how many bills you have and what's going on in your own home, I don't suggest that you sit down and do a business until you have all that figured out. So it's a part of that, because you have to separate the two. And a lot of people don't even understand that part of it.
You have to. You have to be able to know that. And I think you're absolutely right. That may have been the thing that saved us, because I'm really good with money and separating money and, balancing things out. That may have been the only thing that really saved us to where we were like, okay, well, we can do this and, let's lay out this. But it was stressful. Don't do it. And we looked up and we were like, oh, wow, if we had a budget, we went over it by $1 million.
Okay.
And then you're probably thinking, that's $1 million I could have used on something else, right?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Have a plan, have a budget, and connect with someone who knows more about what it is that you're walking into. They've been where you are. Connect with them.
Absolutely. Bree, you have anything you want to add to that?
My goodness. Facts. Just even listening to my mother say that is just
take us back.
I'm just over here like, what in the ham hock? Like what? Just like what was wrong? This is stupid. It's just like, if somebody poked fun at me, I deserved it, because that right there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness. Probably something else that I would say for advice would be to make sure that you enter something that you're called to do. I feel like a lot of us, we go into different things because it's what's trending, it's what's in. We see that this is what makes us a lot of money. But, you're going to burn out quickly if it's something that you're not passionate about.
True.
Mm-hmm. And so before you even make your plan or make your leap or take that risk, which are very important, you need to sit with yourself, have an honest conversation with yourself.
Get naked.
Get naked.
There you go.
And figure out, is this field even something that you are passionate about? Because, I mean, I listen to Michelle Obama, who I think is phenomenal, and she is the epitome of success for a Black woman. But when you read her memoir, she hated law. And she was a lawyer clocking in, making all this money that, you know, people love. They want this money, but she hated it.
Right.
And so, and of course, I'm pretty sure she doesn't regret it, because she would have never met her fine man.
There you go.
But
there's a reason for everything.
I heard you sneak that in there.
Look, Michelle know Barack was good, okay? Michelle, I'm not coveting nobody's husband, but I'm not blind. I'm just saying.
Michelle,
you know, Barack was good.
Oh, goodness. Man.
And
I live with this, y'all.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I was able to know that he existed in the world.
Girl, you are a mess.
But
oh my goodness.
See, now you made me lose my train of thought. But bottom line is that I would definitely suggest, you know, to evaluate and figure out, is this something that I want to do, or is this something that my family wants me to do? Is it something? And sometimes, you know, we have to do things we don't want to do, depending on whatever that life situation is. You know, somebody's a single parent, you got 3 kids to feed. You know, sometimes you don't have time to chase your dream and to evaluate. But if you are gonna make a business move,
type of move,
it needs to be something that will be worth it to you. Something that, if it fails, it's going to make you want to get up again and make you want to try again.
That's good, Bree. Look
Absolutely.
at you.
Very well said. Look at you guys. All right. I love it. So the final, I mean, you guys said, I mean, all the information you just provided is absolutely, you know, important. And you're right, Bree. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't love what you do, you're not going to be happy, and you won't be as successful at it. And a lot of times I think, as you know, we're brought up into the world saying, you know, we're always being told, you know, go get an education and go get a job. You know, it's like, is that the only thing that there's left out there to do, is get an education, get a job? You know, not knocking any of it. But, you know, we don't always have the opportunity, or don't take the opportunity, should I say, to look at our passions. And I mean, I have so many people that, you know, will say, well, how did you get in business, or how did you become an author? And it's just something that I end up doing for me, and not realizing that's what I was going to be. But at the same time, that's my passion. What is yours? Everybody has it. But if you don't take that time to, you know, look into that cookie jar and pull out that cookie and say, hey, this is what I want to do, then you're never going to really know what life is. You know, life is beyond more than just getting a paycheck and getting up and go to work and going to school every day. So, you know, this is some of the things that, you know, having the opportunity to talk to ladies like you, being able to tell your story, you know, people need to understand that we're all very human and we're real. And these are the things that we go through every day in business. It's not all glorified. You have to work hard at it. You have to, you know, continue to make it grow. If this is who you are and this is what you want to be, as you're growing up in life, because, you know, if you don't grow, you're never going to change. So you don't want to be that same person you were 20 or 30 years ago, right? But, you know, you two ladies have definitely brought on some amazing enjoyment this evening on this show. But before we go, I would like for you all to tell us how we can find you, you know, where can we reach out to you? And if you do have anything coming up, you know, please let us know about what you got next.
Well, you can find us together. We have an Instagram page together, and it's Shelley and Bree on Instagram, and that's SHELLEY, and is spelled out Bree, BREE. And that's where you can connect with us together. As for me, myself, the speaker and the coach side, you can connect with me on my website, which is ShelleyMeche'tte.com. And it's not spelled the way it sounds. Meche'tte is MECHETTE. Don't ask me no questions about it. Just go with it. Just go with it. And Shelley is spelled with 2 E's. So we can connect there. We can connect on my website. And on my website, you can download my free 5 daily happiness habits. That will allow us an opportunity to keep up with one another. I'll be doing a master class in maybe the next 3 or 4 weeks. So that'll give an opportunity for us to remain connected. And Bree, your Instagram is bree.k.jones, right?
Yes, mother. I'm going to just say it myself. Listeners, my personal Instagram, if you want to catch up with me and see stuff that I do in relation to American Sign Language.
You are rude.
My Instagram is Bree, BREE .K.Jones. Again, that is Bree, BREE .K.Jones. And as my mother mentioned, our Instagram together is Shelley and Bree, SHELLEY and BREE.
Well,
sheesh.
Thank you for clarifying that, Bree.K.Jones.
I mean, I wanted to say it myself.
Okay, whatever.
Well, as you all know, we've had our first comedy show. Look,
all you gonna do is be the one who buy me.
Oh, whatever. Go away.
Look, my listeners, I'm letting them know we've had our first real comedy show right here on Your Resource for Success podcast program. You ladies have got to come back and visit with me. I mean, this has been amazing. I have had a wonderful time. I definitely thank you for your knowledge and giving us some of those golden nuggets about what you do and what you're accomplishing and what you're continuing to move forward to do. You ladies are amazing. For everyone else, I hope you have enjoyed this opportunity of spending the last 45 minutes with us with Miss Shelley Meche'tte and Bree K. Jones. We're going to make sure we get that part right, with BREE.K.Jones. So anyway, again, I enjoyed you ladies this evening. For everyone else, we're here every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. We are live on the show. Specifically, iHeartRadio and Spotify are our two biggest, and Apple Podcasts. But of course, we are on 12 amazing other platforms. Please enjoy listening to us on the replay if you're not here listening live. We also have our own new mobile app, which you can download from Google Play, Your Resource for Success podcast. Very easy to find. And please, donate to our amazing podcast. And then, of course, we have an amazing program, that I have collaborated with for the last couple of years with Movement T, where we do a throwback fundraising program for domestic violence and for breast cancer awareness. And for me, the domestic violence is very important because I am a survivor of domestic violence. So, and throughout our community here in the Virginia area, between the two entities, we give them 50% of our funds that we raise through an event that we call Purple and Pink Throwback Fundraiser, which we'll be having in September. So please just go to the webpage anytime at www.wsbillc.com and give to my organization, and so we can give the funds out that we need to have to continue to make sure that these awareness programs are being taken care of throughout our community and that everybody's being taken care of the way that they should be. But as I said, I appreciate you all coming on the show this evening. Until next time, have a good night.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
All right, ladies, that was amazing.
Thank you so much. I have such a good time. You are